Today I'm sharing with you 5 makeup mistakes I used to do, and I'm going to show you on my face the difference in real time. Now, these are not strict rules because makeup is personal and what works for me may not work for you. But these small changes that I do now have completely changed my makeup, making it look more elevated, more polished, more cohesive and harmonious, and even better in photos. I'll be doing one side the old way and the other side how I do it now, so you can clearly see the difference. Hi there, welcome to my channel Beauty Talk. If you didn't know me already, my name is Linda and I'm a beauty and lifestyle content creator, and I create videos both in Spanish and in English. And before we get into the video, I wanted to ask you, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you, and I think as of today we might have surpassed the 5,000 subscribers. And also don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. I share my day-to-day there if you like to see what I eat, my workouts, things like that. I share all of that over there, and all of the products that I'll be mentioning will be listed down below in the description box in case you're interested in purchasing any of these products. And if you do use my links, that will be supporting my channel. If you do decide to buy any of the products using my links, you can take a screenshot and share it with me over on Instagram so I can personally thank you. All right, let's get into the first mistake. The first mistake was I was applying bronzer as if it was a blush, and I was completely forgetting my forehead, my temples, my nose, even my jawline. I was completely forgetting all of that. It was just like a stripe of bronzer, which it completely looked totally weird. In my opinion, it just doesn't look good at all. Whereas now I apply bronzer as it should be because bronzer is not a contouring product. It's a product that's supposed to give you warmth and mimic the tan you would naturally get by being in the sun. So for the purposes of this video, you would have seen that I'm using the bronzer from Dior. This is Forever Nude Bronzer and the color is 03 Soft. And I've been using it with this brush from BK Beauty. This is the 103, and you will see how I apply it. I apply it on my cheekbones, all over my cheekbones, but also on my forehead, a little bit on the nose, also alongside my jaw, and even a little bit in the neck, so that everything looks a lot more cohesive. So it looks like I've actually been kissed by the sun and not like some random weird stripe on my cheek of bronzer. I also like to apply a little bit of my brow bone, as you would have seen, and I just feel that it looks so much more harmonious and a lot more natural the way that I apply bronzer nowadays. And just for an option, if you want something to help you with a better placement, you can also use a smaller brush like this one. This one is from Zoeva. This is the 127, and it's like an angle brush, and it's really good because it can give you more precision if you're looking for something like that. But I like to apply it with something big like this so that it applies it a little bit more diffused, so it looks a little bit more softer if you wish. But yeah, this is how I apply bronzer nowadays. It just looks so much more nicer compared to just a stripe of bronzer. It just doesn't make sense at all. Mistake number 2. For years, and I'm so embarrassed to say this, for years I completely neglected, ignored my eyebrows. It's as if they didn't exist for me. And the worst part was that I overplucked them, so they were super skinny, and I didn't use a pencil, anything. I didn't use a pencil, brow gel, nothing. Let me just say that yes, there are people who naturally have great brows, that they may not need to do anything. They maybe just brush them up and they look great. But for me, this is not the case, because my eyebrows, for starters, they're not very symmetric, and in pictures they vanish. So not having a little bit of pencil or a brow, not having that brow definition, just makes my eyebrows kind of vanish in pictures or in video. So it's so important, and it's something that I didn't do for the longest time in my life. And for the purposes of today, you're gonna see that I I applied absolutely nothing on my right side, and then I did apply on my left side, so you can see the difference. This brow pencil from Maybelline, this is the Express Brow Ultra Slim Pencil in the color Soft Brown, and you will see that all I need to do is basically just fill in a little bit of the gaps, just so that the brow looks a little bit more defined. I also extend a little bit the tail, and then I set it with a brow gel, and that makes a huge difference. It just frames the face so much more nicer than when I don't do it. And I have to admit that this is just so bad. Even even on my wedding day, I remember my aunt was helping me. She's like, Linda, let's put some pencil in your brows. I was like, no. I don't know why. I just felt that it didn't look so good. And she convinced me, and she added a little bit of pencil. I'm so grateful she did, because even today I look at my wedding pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking? My eyebrows were so thin, and I can only imagine if she hadn't put a little bit of brow pencil, how much worse it would have looked in the pictures, my eyebrows. So if I can, I'll try and insert a picture of how my eyebrows were before. But it's just horrible, because when the light hits you, your eyebrows kind of vanish. That's why it's so important when you do makeup, especially for photography or for filming and stuff, to really add a little bit more than you think you need, because otherwise it kind of fades away. You can't really see it. But yeah, this is one of the worst mistakes that I have doing my makeup. Mistake number 3, not blending my eyeshadow. I mean, I would have blended, I just wouldn't blend it enough. I would just apply it like in a block, and it looked horrendous. It looks really harsh. It just doesn't look seamless. It doesn't look harmonious. It just doesn't look great. You're gonna see how I used to do it, and it's just not great. And then you're going to see on comparison on my left side that I apply it, and then I take the time. You can use the same brush, but then you can use the same brush to do that, but sometimes it's even better to do it with a clean brush. And for the purposes of this video, I was using this brush from BK Beauty. This is the 201, and the eyeshadow I was using is this eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This is Hello Talk Dreams, and I had to take it out because I've been neglecting it, and it's actually such a beautiful eyeshadow palette. But you can see that I grabbed the brush, and just by diffusing better the borders of the eyeshadow, it just looks so much more seamless, so much more nicer. It's a huge difference in my opinion. And this mistake that I was making, I would consider this one a hard rule. Nobody looks good with unblended eyeshadow. You need to blend your eyeshadow, otherwise it just looks harsh. It doesn't look good in my opinion. It just doesn't. So this is something that I didn't do very well, and now I do, and it just makes a huge difference. It just makes the makeup look so much more pretty, so much more integrated with the whole face, so much more harmonious. The 4th mistake I was doing was skipping eyeshadow on the lower lash line. Now this one may be something that, you know, maybe some people, it doesn't look too bad on some people, but in my opinion, I feel that it just doesn't look so good on myself. And just by taking a small brush like this one is from Refer, this is the number 13, and running it along the eyelash line, it just makes the eyeshadow look a lot more cohesive. And the other thing that it does, it also just makes the eye look a little bit more open. It frames the eye in a subtle way. It just looks a lot more flattering in my opinion. And another thing is that if I don't use eyeshadow, another way to do it just to frame the eyes a little bit is to use a little bit of bronzer. So you would have seen here in the B-roll that I will take my bronzer with a flat brush. This is a flat brush from BK Beauty. This is the 204, and just by doing that, you can do that as well on top of the eyeshadow, just to kind of like bring everything together. And you can see immediately how much more pretty the eyeshadow looks. The eyes look a little bit more open, more defined, but in a subtle way, of course. 5th mistake, applying bronzer but not blush. Now, applying bronzer alone, in my case, for me, it just doesn't look good. For some people, they may love it and it looks great, and it's not anything wrong just to use bronzer alone. But in my case, I just feel that it makes my face look completely flat and lifeless. And you will see that it just applying a little bit of blush, in my opinion, just makes the makeup look a lot more alive. Because if you think about it, our faces, we do have different kind of tones coming through, different colors, tones or colors coming through our skin. So when we are too much in the sun, we'll definitely get a little bit more like golden because of the sun. But when you're blushing, for real, you will get a little bit of pink in your cheeks. So adding a little bit of blush is just gonna make the face look a little bit more alive and a little bit more like youthful. For the purposes of this video, you will see me applying this blush from YSL. This is the Make Me blush in the color 42. It's called Baby Doll. And I used this brush from Refer. This is the 04, and you can see it's a little bit smaller, so it helps with a more precise application. And then you will see that I apply it on top of the bronzer, but a little bit higher, and I apply it almost coming all the way up to my what is this called, the temples, a little bit, like I blend it in the temples, and I also bring it almost underneath my eyes and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And I just find that it makes my makeup look a lot more pretty. It's very flattering, a little bit more youthful, and it just looks so much better, in my opinion. All right, so those were the 5 makeup mistakes I was making, and you can see here side by side by yourself. Judge what looks better. Let me know if you agree or you disagree. But these are the small adjustments that I have been making in my makeup that I feel that makes the makeup look a lot more intention, a lot more integrated, and a lot more just seamless and elevated. And again, makeup is personal, and that's the great thing about it, that we can experiment and see what works best for each one of us. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And let me know in the comments down below, which of these mistakes are you doing? No judgment, because I have done them all. So let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoy this kind of content, more realistic, more down to earth beauty, don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you in my growing community. And with that, I hope you have a lovely day. I'm sending you lots of love and lots of kisses. Ciao.